四位复生我亮天尊 My dear friends, welcome to another live stream. Let's wait for some people to join. In the meantime, I'm preparing some tea because, as you see, it's really cold, really cold here. Yes, hello, my dear Dao friends. 复生我亮天尊，复生我亮天尊。Let me do some pouring some tea. Yes, hello, my dear Dao friends. Today, welcome to another live stream. Today, we want to talk about this. One of the very important scriptures is called Qing Jing Jing, or 太上老君说长 Qing Jing Jing, the scripture of the clarity and stillness. And just let's have some tea first to warm up. Maybe some more friends join us today. Fusang Wuliang Tianzun, hello Gregory, hello Mohammed, everything is okay. Wie geht's, wie steht's? Ich hoffe, euch geht's gut. Fusang Wuliang Tianzun, Yunhai. 远海都有啊 Okay, wonderful. Hello Gregory, 福生无量天尊 Nice to see you. Okay, I hope you guys are alright. It's really cold in here. This is one of the rooms where we usually practice, but there's no heating here. It's around 0 or 1 degree Celsius. It's quite cold today, so that's why we wear extra layer of jacket and drink some hot tea. That's okay. So I hope you're all good. Everybody who's watching this, doing what they do in a healthy environment. Today we're gonna talk about one of the more important scriptures, is the Qing Jing Jing. Qing Jing Jing is the first scripture we come across when we practice the morning liturgy of the Shenmen 早课 or 早堂功课经 is called 早堂功课经, and what this means is the morning altar recitation liturgy. It's a very long word, that's why we use it normally 早课 or morning liturgy, morning ceremony, as you want to say it, how you feel comfortable. So some of you already learned this or practiced. Even some of my students joined today. Fushan Wuliang Tenzun, Daoism Liu, and Dimitrios. Fushan Wuliang Tenzun, welcome joining us today. TPEG36, also very welcome. Today I'm going to talk about the Qing Jing Jing. And before we dive into this, I know some of you already learned this, either with me or with other teachers. And if you're interested in this, yeah, we also have like online courses. If you want to really dive in deep in the scripture practice, yeah, we have online courses, or also study videos or DVDs. And you can always contact me if you have questions about how to learn or study those scriptures, as my major practice, if you want to call it this way. Every day we cultivate Dao through reciting the scriptures. And some of you already received this book, the Qing Jing Jing, and this is what we from the German Daoist Association. If you don't know me, maybe I introduce myself. I am Daoist Liu from the German Daoist Association, and at the moment I'm in the Yuzhangguan. So this is a scripture book we published and we give out for free. So if you're interested in learning scriptures, practicing scriptures, this is for free. And if you want to receive one, you just contact me, email or direct message, however you want to call it. This is not translation, is Chinese and Pinyin for those who are practicing Daoist scriptures or want to do the recitation, the ceremony. We can use this book, or you can receive this book for practicing. And this is called Liu Qing Jing because there is 6. Liu is the number 6. There's 6 scriptures, or 6 of the major scriptures in one of the books. So you don't need like 6 of those. This is only Qing Jing Jing. This is the Chinese version, and this is what I'm using usually. But if you want to keep it all together, you can use the Liu Qing Jing Jing for practice, because there's all 6 scriptures, 6 major scriptures we use on a daily or monthly base. There's the morning, evening scriptures inside, and Sanguan Jing, Beidou Jing, and over the time we're gonna introduce more and more of the scriptures. But today we want to talk about the Qing Jing Jing. So the Qing Jing Jing, the scripture of clarity and stillness. And when I open this one here, you see there's a beautiful painting just in the front, and this is Taishan Laojun. And Taishan Laojun is the deity, one of the 3 clarities, which who passed down these scriptures. Hello, hello Alessio, hello my dear friend from Italy. For all my Dao friends joining us today, if you want to learn a little bit about the Qing Jing Jing, you are mostly welcome also to comment. You see, I can read and see all your comments. So yes, and we go through this a little bit first. So you see there's some painting at the beginning. So we always in these scriptures we always have like these paintings at the beginning, and in a moment I'm coming to tell you why we do this. And here is one of the fu for the Qing Jing Jing. So it's a Tai Qing, Tai Jing, Tian Yan, Hui, Dao de Zhong Fu, Zhen Fu. So this one here is a very important fu for this practice. If you want to learn these fu, you should have a good teacher, or a good shifu, master, who teaches you these kind of fu. And most of the fu I'm also not teaching to everybody, and but I can introduce to you. This fu is for the Qing Jing Jing practice. This is a special fu we use for practicing, cultivating the Qing Jing Jing. And for those study with me before, this is what I'm always say: every scripture is actually one cultivation. You can cultivate a skill with every scripture, and the Qing Jing Jing is very short and simple to understand scripture for those who start studying or cultivating Daoism. The 3 treasures we honor as a Daoist is the Dao Jing Shi, and Dao is in the Jing. So Dao is Dao, and Jing is the scripture, and Shi is the Shifu, master. So the Dao is within the scriptures, and only through the scriptures we can understand and cultivate Dao. There's no way around. If you start studying, it doesn't matter what kind of skills you want to develop, everything goes through scriptures. And if you believe that you can just simply sit there and go with the flow, that's not practicing Daoism. That's just cultivating a dream in a dream world. So if you want to understand what Dao is, or Dao cultivation, then you start with the Qing Jing Jing. And in a moment we go through this a little bit. It's very cold. It's really cold here, so I need to drink some more hot water. Oh, sorry. See. Today, if you like tea, I'm in these days I like the Fenghuang Dancong. Fenghuang Dancong is really strong oolong tea. So, yeah, for those who are still staying with me, I'm going to introduce a little bit more about the scripture practice. Every skill has a foundation. Every Daoist skill, and I don't mean like, okay, we meditate. Meditation is just a tool. When I speak about skill, it's like Lei Fa, Bei Dou Fa, different other skills. Tian Yi Fa. Tian Yi Fa, for example, Tian Yi means heavenly doctor. This is like a healer skill, healing skill. For those who are really into Daoism, they should remember or memorize what I'm saying now, because a skill is not I can meditate for 2 hours. You know, when there is no benefits, benefit is okay. Everything is a benefit. When you meditate and you feel a little bit more relaxed, it's also a benefit. But for Daoist cultivation, that's just not enough. And for understanding the cultivation or developing real skills, you need to learn scriptures, study scriptures. Leibniz Confucius Institute, also join us, Fu Sheng, Wu Liang Tianzhen, my dear friends from the Confucius Institute from Hanover. I was just talking about some scriptures, and you also know there is scripture practice in the Confucianism, and the Daoist scriptures are also very famous, the Qing Jing Jing. Okay, so this specific scripture, Qing Jing Jing, is, like I said, the first scripture in the morning liturgy, in the morning ceremony. It's very short, and in the moment we are going to read it together, if you like. And if you want to go and dive deeper into this, you can always contact me and join the courses however you like. And we are, if we open this now, this scripture book, if you don't have it, it's also fine. You will see the first part is the Bada Shenzhou, because the Bada Shenzhou for scripture practice should be always included. And the Bada Shenzhou is the 8 big heavenly Shenzhou, the formula or mantra, if you want to use this word, but I barely use Indian words for Daoist practice. It's called Shenzhou. It's like a formula, and these heavenly formulas, they are necessary for developing internal skills. There is formula for cleaning or clearing the heart. There is a formula for clearing the mouth, Jing Kou Shenzhou or Jing Xin Shenzhou. There is a formula for cleaning the body, and all these formulas, they are like I just say, you can recite them very quick. They are not very long, and they are for developing a good environment for practicing scriptures. Because the first thing we should do when we want to read or practice a scripture is to calm down, sit in a clean and quiet environment, and we should calm our body so we don't, and of course our mind, so we don't get interrupted by phone calls or get interrupted by something. And if we have an altar, for example, or if we want to make it serious, we offer some incense to the deity. In this case is the Taishan Laojing, one of the 3 clarities, or one of the 3 major deities we have in the Daoism. And then you can, through this incense offering, you can also calm down and start your practice. And the Bada Shenzhou, it's really cold. The Bada Shenzhou is just at the beginning of the scripture practice. It could be a daily practice as well, just as a single practice, a daily practice, the Bada Shenzhou. But if you use, for example, the morning liturgy, it includes many other things, not only the Qing Jing Jing, but also 3 other scriptures, and also the Bada Shenzhou, and also some melodies and vows and so on. and there's like the Bada Shenzhou included in the morning liturgy, because most of the time in every temple or Daoists all around the world, they practice the Zao Ke, the morning liturgy, every day, and therefore they also practice or recite the Bada Shenzhou every day. And the Bada Shenzhou is very simple, and I'm just reading it for you to understand. Okay, so 大罗三宝天尊，台上台行一面无听，举起福美报名呼声，智慧明镜，心神安宁，三魂永久，破五三清。This is the first 精心神咒，金口神咒，站住口声，吐回书分，四声真龙，透明阳生，落前赤身，去血为真，后生虎本，七神阴经，心神但愿，令我童真，四神连夜道起长尊。This is the second one, yeah. 灵宝天尊暗为身心，弟子魂魄五脏玄明，青龙白虎对掌分云，助取玄武实为我真。This is the third one. And for those who are just practicing or just start practicing, the first three are more important for developing a clear mind, a clear heart, clear body, and prepare for reciting the scriptures. Yeah. The next one is 原是安灯普告王令，阅读贞观土地之令，做事有计不得忘境，回向正道，内外澄清，各安方位，备受家庭。太上有名，所不邪经，护法神王，保卫诵经，皈依大道，永恒力真。Yeah, if you see the scriptures there, or this recitation, they're very short. And more like formulas. Yeah, this was just the Antu Di Shenzhou for protecting the ground, for protecting the area you are at. Okay, 今天地神州，天地自然晦气分散，洞中玄虚，晃浪太阳，八方为真。是我自然，灵宝福明，普告九天，乾罗大王，洞港太玄。占要福谢，蛇鬼万千，众生神州，愿使余文，赤诵一遍，却并延年，暗行五月，八海自问，莫忘书手，是为我选，雄会萧山，道起长尊。This is the 天地神咒, 经天地神咒 to clearing the heaven and earth. And now we have a very special formula for those who want to develop skill, a certain skill. My students know about this, and if you want to learn more about how to get the golden light skill, the golden raising skill, you can contact me, and we can start talk. 尽管神州 is 天地玄宗，万气本根，光绪一界，正悟神通，三界内外唯道独尊，体有金光，复有无声，视之不见，听之不闻，包罗天地，养育群生，受持万变，身有光明，三界思维，无地四因，万神少力。万神朝力，一时雷霆，各有三当，境外王仙，内有霹雳雷神英明，洞会交车，雾气腾腾，尽管xuất现，伏虎真人。And the next one is actually the 炷香神咒. 炷香神咒 is for offering the incense. It's the shortest one. 道有心学，信者相传，相若于路，信存地前，正领下班，正配灵轩，先配灵轩，凌晨广告，精打九天，精打九天，精打九天。And then there's the Qing Jing Jing, but it's not written in here because there's another Shenzhou. This book is actually, or this scripture, not this book, this scripture is actually for a certain lineage. It's the Zhengyi, Sanxianji Xuepai, Shoupai. And because in the general scripture books, or in what we provide or publish, there is not this Wuxing Shenzhou. Wuxing Shenzhou is the five-star Shenzhou formula. But we can dive into the Qing Jing Jing. If you have questions, you can always, or if you have a comment, you can always raise your hand or say hello. I think you can also join the live stream at the conference if you want to practice together. So, the translation is very simple. I'm going to translate a few things, but if you want to look into the translations, Celebrity Jun, you have a good question. Is Chinese a must in studying Taoism? Thanks for the question. And if you, yes and no. Yeah, that's a straight answer. Yes and no. The scriptures you can also recite in your mother tongue or any language you like. The scripture is translated. I translated most of the scriptures in the Qing Jing Jing and also other scriptures. And the scriptures is one thing. You can translate for understanding if you want to recite this during the ceremony. It is a good thing also to do it in your native language. But with the Shenzhou, the formulas is a different thing. You can also use it or recite them as a translation for your understanding, but for developing a certain skill, you need to understand that some of these scriptures, or not scriptures, but Shenzhou, are used for empowering talisman, empowering a ritual, or doing certain techniques or rituals, and therefore you need to use the language or the sounds. We are talking now a little bit more deeper, the sounds where this Shenzhou or this text or this sentence, to make it easy to understand, is empowered in original. So if we say, okay, there is a very long history of translation scriptures, and of course there's Tibetan scriptures, there is Indian scriptures, and there's scriptures in Chinese, and so on and so on. Many of these scriptures, they try with the native language, because the scriptures are given, or these formulas are given by deities, by immortals. So they use a heavenly, immortal language, which is uses sounds, waves, vibrations, if you want to keep it very understandable or in understanding. The sounds are very important for the empowerment of what we do. If we draw a talisman and we would use a Shenzhou and say it in our native language, let's say English, you can. I always say it's the heavenly language, You can call it however you like. The vibration energy language is also fine, because the idea behind this is the same. There is certain sounds we learn, from our master, or learn from the teacher, which is then or in the Chinese language, if we use Chinese as an example, where you try to get as close as possible to this sound. If you can make the same sound and write it down in a certain way, if you use Latin characters, it's also fine. That's why I publish all the scriptures with pinyin. So Western people, non-Chinese reading Daoist friends, they can also do the same sounds. And there is also ways of drawing the sounds. People who joined my classes heard this before. There is also ancient or traditional ways of drawing these sounds or the melodies, with wave kind of drawing. But this is very complicated and it's barely transmitted anymore. But the vibrations and the sounds are very, very important. And if you want to understand what you read there, you can read the translations, but the sounds needs to be done in the right way, otherwise there will be no empowerment of the talisman or in the ritual. So if you can make the sound, then you can read it in any language if you like. You can, I mean, like, you can come up with a fantasy words if you make the right sound. But yeah, for simply for the reason that we use pinyin, it's already written down, and yeah, it's just a good way to translate it using pinyin. Yeah, but it is very important to understand that. Yeah, there's things we can translate. We can also do the singing, the melodies, like the Deng Qingyun, for example. Yeah, to do the opening melody, the singing, the chanting, to invite all the immortals. This is a different thing. We can do it in our mother language. We can do it in any language. But for empowering or for the rituals, we use the language of the immortals, and it was translated into Chinese, or the old Daoists or the ancient, the prior generation masters. They wrote it down in Chinese. But again, there is also sometimes different pronunciations. It is just about the waves. So about the sound, and the sound is waves, and the waves can open things, can open energy gates, or gates to different dimensions, yeah, to the heavenly dimension. And that's why we need to keep an eye on this. To understand, we use translations for the formulas, but for practice we use the original language. Yeah, I hope that was very clear. Yeah, I like the vibration energy language. This word is a very good word. So, let me just boil some more water. So, 太上老君说长情精经. This means like 太上老君 is saying the scripture of the clarity and stillness. 老君曰：大道无形，生育天地；大道无亲，运行日月；大道无名，长养万物。无不知其名，强名曰道。Thank you for Celebrity Jun. Yeah, I try to explain it so everybody can understand. I could also make it very complicated, but the Dao is not complicated. The Dao is simple, and we want to understand it the most easiest way. We simmer the information down, and if we simmer it down, it's all about vibration, all about sounds. And of course, the scriptures is a different thing. Like I said, the scriptures you can use for learning the practice. There's practices, there's scriptures which teaches you internal alchemy. There is scripture teaching you what Dao is, and this is actually what the Qing Jing Jing is about. And there's scriptures teaching you how to heal people, how to heal yourself, how to get rid of disaster, and so on and so on. Yeah. Today we talk about the first scripture in the morning liturgy. Hey Flo, hello, Chili Flo, nice to have you with us. I just mentioned the first part, or the first two sentences of the Qing Jing Jing, and the Qing Jing Jing, the first 2-3 sentences are about what Dao is. Dao doesn't have a form, it gives birth to heaven and earth. Dao doesn't have a name, so I call it Dao. It doesn't have a name. 我不知其名. I don't know its name, so I call it Dao. And this is the same first sentence like the 道可道，非常道，名可名，非常名. And those of you who are interested in Daoism should know what this is. It's the Dao De Jing, the first sentence, the first chapter. And the first chapter is saying it all. When we practice Dao and we want to communicate, we use the word Dao. Because the teacher, they need to have a way of communication. They need to have a way of transmitting the Dao. And I know there's so many friends, Dao friends, they just read the translations of non-practitioners, non-Daoists, just scholars, just people who know Chinese translating Dao De Jing or Daoist scriptures. But there is a difference between the real practitioner and just a person who understands what the scripture is talking about. Because in fact they don't understand what the scripture is talking about, because there is hundreds of thousands of years transmission line from all the generation up to the teacher, up to the shifu. And the transition is not only about the words, but it's about what is in between the lines and about the practice. So all these words are just empty if you don't understand what they really mean. That's why we honor the three treasures, Dao, Jing, and Shifu, because the Shifu, the teacher, explains what the scriptures mean or the practice in these scriptures. Okay, so where were I? 无不知其名，讲名曰道。夫道者，有清有浊，有动有静。天清地浊，天动地静；男清女浊，男动女静。将本六末，二生万物，清之浊之源，动之静之机。人能常清静，天地悉皆归。Yeah, we stop here for a moment. Just for understanding, I will not translate every sentence because it takes longer time. But if you want to know more about this, you're welcome to contact me. So this part explains, yeah, there is yes and no, there is black and white, there is being and non-being, and there is male and female, there is clarity, and there is what you call the opposite of clarity, muddiness, unclarity. Yeah, so there is murkiness. I think it's murky. Sorry, my English is very basic. Yeah, my Chinese is probably much better than even my mother language. My mother language is what? Yeah, those who know me, they should know it now. You can hear it from the accent probably. And that's why I translated the Qing Jing Jing at first, because many people, they want to learn Daoism, and also my teacher is the same, taught me that the Qing Jing Jing is one of the more important scriptures. Yeah, so 生于天地，将本流芒而生万物，清之浊之源，动之静之机，人能常清净，天地悉俱归。So yeah, if 夫人身好情，二心扰之；人心好静，二欲牵之。常能牵其欲，二心自静；诚其心，二神自清。So what this means is to give you a simple translation, a simple understanding. If somebody can cultivate stillness, yeah, or understand that there is murkiness and clarity, understand that there is yes and no, black and white, yeah, through observing the self, everything around yourself, yeah, you can still your body, yeah, and over time practicing the stillness, like sitting down or lying down and being still and get rid of all the unnecessary thoughts. This is what you could understand from this, that there is the heart gonna be still over time, and over time your heart gets more still, your mind gets more clear. So this is also what this means. We can use every sentence for our personal practice, for our personal cultivation. Yeah. Okay. Where are we? 刺情，自然律不生，善度消灭，所以不能知为心未成，欲为前也。能前知者，内观其心，心无其心；外观其心，心无其心。圆观其无，无无其无。善者即无，未见于空，观空亦空，所空亦无，无无即无，无无亦无，无无即无。张让常寂，一无所寂，欲其能生，欲其能生，即是真经。正常因无，常清常静常清，常清静一。如此清净，渐入真道，名为得道。名为得道，是无所的；名为得道，是无所的，为化众生。名为得道，能无知之，可创生道。This is like the first part. Yeah, I just read. Let me give you a breakdown. So when you can, there is poisoning the mind, the body, and through this practice of stillness and clarity, you can actually get rid of these poisons. Yeah, there is poisons entering the mind, entering the body, and these poisons are, for example, things you hear, things you see, things you eat, what you breathe in. Yeah, and Wang Chongyang, the founder of, or the fourth patriarch of the Quanzhen Pai, of the Quanzhen school, once said, or one of the teachings he transmitted is, there is 4 gates. It's the eyes, the ears, the nose and the mouth. There's 2 gates of the mind and 2 gates of the body where poison can enter. The poison of the mind is, for example, entering through the eyes and through the ears. Yeah, you hear something which poison your mind, and you see something that's poison your mind. And there's things can poison your body through food. Yeah, and there's not necessarily that somebody poison you, want to kill you, but there's also food that can interact with your body in a certain way you don't want when you practice internal methods. Yeah, and the next part is also saying about the way we guan means observing ourselves. Yeah, when we use a clear heart observing ourselves, yeah, we will understand there's no shape, there's no heart at all, there's nothing. If we use a clear mind to looking at our outside shape, we will understand there is no shape at all. And this is what is the first step, or the first level of Daoist cultivation, Daoist practice is about, is that we understand there is no such thing at all. Yeah. We cultivate the shape to understand that there is no such thing like the shape, and the shape is a vessel, and so on. Yes, Nikki Nonan, welcome joining us for today. I was just in the middle of teaching the first part of the Daoist Qing Jing Jing. What we can understand from this until here is that we, through very simple understanding of what clarity and what stillness is about, we can start getting rid of all the ideas, of all the misleading ideas of our own, of our person, of ourself. And just like I said, when we get the understanding that, or through observing ourselves, that we understand that this is not a lasting thing, therefore it's not true, it's not real. What is real is, if we can understand, or if we can keep this spirit in the circle of or in a way of becoming immortal. Yeah, it's not that the body is living forever. Yeah, that's a thing from science fiction books or something, but that the spirit, through the understanding, realizing the Tao, is that the spirit can last forever, if you want to say it this way. Yeah. So, and this is what the last sentence is about. The person. Let me go back to this. 为化众生，名为得道，能悟则者. Yeah. So those who can understand this, are worth, or are worth to transmit Dao. And 可传神道. 神道 means like the sage Dao, or the holy Dao, the real Dao, if you want to call it this way. There's so many people talking so much nonsense about whatever they understand, you know. But the truth is, if you realize Tao, that's just the first step, the first level. Or if you say you meditate every day, what is your outcome from this? Today I have a long talk with a student, or with a want to become a student, and she's meditating every day for many hours. But she herself also say, there's no really benefits. Yeah, maybe she calm down and can get rid of her, no necessary ideas, or some things can clear her mind. But in fact, there's no progress. She's not getting any real power or any skills. Then the practice you do is only for relax sitting. Then you can also relax and sit in front of the TV. It's the same practice. But if you want to realize Tao, if you want to develop a Daoist skill, then you need to have the right method. So what's the right method? That you should ask a shifu, teacher. There's many methods we can develop, or many skills we can develop through the right method. And if the method is right, the skill is developed. If the method is wrong, there's just harmful or no benefits at all. So like I just said, there's many skills. There's healing skills, there's skills for expelling evil, there's skills for catching ghosts, and skills for doing good, skills for connecting with the deities. But these skills, they need to have the right method and need to be developed. Needs to be developed. Realizing Tao is just the first step of getting real skills. Okay? So, okay, 劳金曰上士无争，下士好争，上的不得，下的者的，这作之子，不明道的，众生虽不得正道者，唯有妄心，即有妄心，即尽其身，即尽其身，即作万物，即作万物，即生贪求，即生贪求，即是烦恼，烦恼妄想，有苦生心，有苦生心，变造浊路，流浪生死，长生苦海，永世正道，正常之道，无之得者，得无道者，常清净义。无知自得得无道者，常清净义。Okay, so this is the second part of the scripture, Qing Jing Jing. There is commentaries of immortals after this, but we not go into that for now. It's just the first sentence is very important of this part. 劳金曰, 劳金曰 means always that the 劳金, 台上劳金, is saying 上士无争，下士好争。The high or the higher or the upper scholar, shi means like Dao Shi, the upper student or practitioner. 无争，下士好争。上士无争，下士好争。What does this mean? 上士无争 means that the higher practitioner, or the person who cultivating the Dao Shi, is not fighting. 不争，无争. Wu Zheng is Bu Zheng. And Wu Zheng means that there is no fight or nothing you're against. And what many modern Dao friends, they will translate into go with the flow. But can you accept that somebody is coming into your home and kill your parents or kill you whatever not? That's a very hard thing. That's a very hard thing. And people get destroyed by this their whole life. They will not get over this. And, when we can accept even the worst thing, what's the worst thing for you? You tell me, what's the worst thing for you? That somebody kill you? That somebody steal your money? That somebody steal your money or everything and you're homeless? It's not the worst thing. That somebody kill you because death is the end of this life, right? So if you're dead, there's no way to cultivate Dao, and that's a very horrible thing, right? But if you practice or cultivate Dao, the real thing, the real Daoist cultivation, then you understand that death is the same like birth. It's only one side of the medal, birth and death. So you mean the worst thing is you cannot control your mind and your body? There's also methods of practicing or training this, developing the skill of controlling mind and body. There's many ways to cultivate attachment. Getting rid of attachments. Or sexual attachment is one thing. Many Dao friends ask me about how can they get rid of this. Let me say one sentence. That's your fear. Okay, your fear is you cannot control your mind and your body. Okay. So when I asked you what is worse, not to control your mind and your body, or that you are dying, there's only one answer to this. For most of the people, the worst fear is to be dead, to die. But like I just want to say, the root of every sickness or illness in terms of, or in the Daoist medicine or Daoist belief system, is that the root of every sickness or illness is in the emotions. So fear, worries, even happiness is emotion. If it's extreme, it can lead to stagnations, and stagnation lead to developing sickness or a disease even, and we want to get harmonized. It's getting really cold here. I need more hot water. Because now the sun is going down, and there's snow falling actually outside. So, like I just said, if people understand or believe or are afraid of death, then they are attached to the life. And if on the last moment of their life, in the last breath they take, if they cannot detach from their life or from their belongings, then they might end up in as a ghost, chasing these things. There's many examples. I have opened an altar in my students' school in Mexico, and there was also a ghost, a spirit there who's chasing after his gold, which is hidden in the earth probably. They also found it out through some medium, and we do some clearing ritual. And this is also very important to understand. There is a connection between the human. Alda just joined us. Like I just said, my dear students from Mexico. I was just talking about the situation happened in Mexico, and there is many things you can only explain when you have a certain understanding of the connection between the world we are in, the human world, or the realm of human, and the realm of ghosts, and the realm of deities, and the realm of demons, and the realm of so on and so on. So I love to give this example to understand that there is certain ways or certain windows we can open. We can understand some dreams as a situation, or as a situation, or a way of looking into other dimensions, into other worlds, into other realms. If we have the skill to do some really deep meditation or deep practice, spiritual practice, we can also look into different realms or travel. There's a good saying in the Daoist Jing, we don't need to leave our house to travel the universe, and this is actually what this real meaning is. There's too many people talk about this meaning, nonsense talk. The real meaning is that you can detach your spirit from your body, from the vessel the spirit is in, and you can wandering through the realms of immortals. But this is a very high class, high practice, high skill. So if you want to learn more about this, you're always welcome to join our classes or join our courses. Or we also have like some free online classes on the website. If you want to know the website, you could also look on the profile. There is a direct link to the website, and there's a way. If you really want to find it, you're gonna find it. There's many videos also online. So what I just mentioned is a very good way to explain this. If you think about an ant, if you look at the ant is a small animal which is only looking in their kind of realm. Yeah, if you want to call it a 2D realm, they can look on the surface, they can look forward, sideways and backwards, but they cannot look up and see the world we are in. And if you now use a ball and throw it on the ground and it bounces back, what does the ant see is always like first a dot, then a small shape layer like a line, and then the line gets bigger. So to make it very understandable, the ant will only see certain parts, always like one layer over one layer over one layer, and when the ball bounces back, the lines get smaller again until there is only a dot and it disappears. So you only, as an ant, you only see a layer of the ball. You will not see the whole 3D shape. And we are the ball, or we live in the same world like the ball. We see 3D things. But if you understand the ghost realm, for example, or the immortal realm as a 4D world or 4D dimension, to make it more understandable for you, there is certain ways we can peek into this. And for example, the dreams, and they are very fuzzy and not very clear. So for normal people to understand this, they say, it's just a dream. I woke up from a dream, and they don't remember. But you can cultivate your spirit, and through a certain way of cultivating, you can also work with this kind of skills. And there's other windows you can open, for example, through the altar, through the internal practice, through the spiritual cultivation, where you can, like I just said, travel the realms of the immortals without leaving any room. You just let the spirit travel. And that's a real thing, and that's a real thing, and it's not only some philosophy written in the book, because also the Daoist Jing was transmitted as a practice, as a skill. And at the beginning I was talking about every scripture has a certain skill. It's a skill set. You have, for example, the talisman, like I just showed, the Qing Jing Jing. Yeah, you're gonna have to look through, if the most of the Dao friends look through the internet, and they will never find these kind of things in the internet, because they are transmitted by Shifu to the Dizi. And if we want to cultivate this, we need to find a good master. If you're interested in learning Daoism, Daoist skills, Daoist culture, you can always join our community. Yeah, we have a Facebook group with all my students, and you can ask your questions and also learn a lot about scriptures, about Daoist practices, and step by step. Yeah, there's a certain ladder you need to climb up before you, first of all, find out what skills you can develop, because not everything is for everybody. Yeah, some of my students, they learn skills for exorcism, some learning for healing, and that's basically the way we are working. Everybody is individual, and not everybody can get used to the practice, because we are hard practitioner. All of my students, they know, and now Aldair is nodding. Yeah, we are practicing very hard. Yeah, Zhanzhuang, for example. Yeah. If you want to learn, there is a way of cultivating Dao through martial art. It's called Yiwu Xiu Dao. Yeah, through the martial art, cultivate Dao. But besides training the body, you also need to train the mind, and through learning and cultivating or practicing scriptures, you can cultivate the mind or understand the theory for Daoist cultivation. You know, it is just to understand the theory in basic words. Okay. I see. What time is it? I see. I think now almost time for my student to come for training. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's little Dao talk or live stream. I'm going to upload this on IGTV. I figured out you can always watch the replay. I'm also not very skilled with this kind of things. I have my skills or my skill set, and it certainly came through hard practice. But I'm very silly with when it comes to using social media. So I often have help from other Dao friends or from students. And yeah, if you like this, you can always contact me and ask your questions also in private chat. I know sometimes it's not easy to ask questions so everybody can see. That's why we have a very private environment in the Yuzhengguan group. That's the name of the group. Yuzhengguan is the name of the temple we are residing here at the moment, Yuzhengguan Dao Temple in Germany, and we invite everybody to join this community. If you'd like to learn more, you can always contact us. You're welcome, my dear Dao friends. Celebrity Jin, I'm very happy to know you. It's an honor to have you guys with me. So I'm Daoist Liu at the Yuzhengguan Fushan Wuliang Tianzun.